Hey, what's up, guys? So we're almost here. We're almost done. So I'm gonna get you guys some review videos on some of the last couple things. So this first one, it's gonna be graphing lines. It's real simple. Graphing lines. It's all linear stuff, so that means it increases at a constant rate. You have a couple options for the equation. It could be point slope. It could be slope-intercept form. You can find slope from a graph, from a table, from two order pairs. Basically, just look for the change in y over the change in x. Look at your graph and make sure you plot your points correctly. Use a straight edge and use it to make predictions. Use it to figure out how much money you're gonna make over X amount of time, things like that. And then this type of stuff carries on to systems. So if you can do this, you can do systems. If you can't do this, you probably can't do systems. So enjoy the video. Let me know if you need anything else before we are done.
All right, so we're looking at the review here. We got some vocab that you need to know. You need to know what slope is, and you should know that slope represents, the rise over the run, which is also the same as saying, the change in y, delta y over delta x. So basically, how things are going up or down as they go to the right as time changes. Rate of change, same concept, it's just slope is the visual version. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M representing the slope, B representing the y-intercept. Point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where x1 and y1 represent a point on the line and m represents slope. We really didn't talk about standard form, so I'm not going to get into that. So just kind of ignore that right now. So I'll tell you, make sure you know them. It's important to have a picture or something associated with each of these things, otherwise you're not going to know what to do. So identify by the kind of slope. So you have increasing, positive, decreasing, negative, zero slope, or undefined. If it's going down from left to right, we do that left hand up, right hand down. That's definitely negative. A vertical line is undefined because that would be dividing by 0, or x equals a number is the equation of that line, undefined. Left to right, going up, left hand down or hand up, that's positive. This one's positive. Definitely negative there. And then horizontal lines, or y equals a number, would be 0 slope, because 0 slope, you're not increasing as time is going on. So 4 types of slope. So find the slope given the graph, and write the equation for the line. So to find slope, you pick 2 pretty points. It doesn't matter which 2. Mark them. I like to mark them. And then you're just going to find the rise and the run. Now, it's important that you do rise up or down and run left to right. If you go right to left and you're not careful, you're going to make a mistake. So I always go left to right. We don't listen to Beyonce for that one. So we're going to go down 1, down 2, down 3, down 4. So my rise is -4. My change in y is -4. And then my run, 1, 2, 3, 4, is +4. So I set up my ratio, -4 over 4, rise over run, and I can reduce that if I want to -1 over 1, or just -1. So that would be the slope of letter A. And I knew it should have been negative because it was left hand up, right hand down. The second slope needs to be positive. I picked 2 pretty points. Again, it doesn't matter which ones, and I go up 1, up 2, and up 3. So my rise, or my change in y, is a +3. And my run, 1, 2, 3, 4, is a +4. So my slope is 3/4, up 3 over 4. Every time I go up over 1, I increase by 3/4. Now this slope is how you can definitely know for sure how to do undefined. Pick 2 pretty points. I have a rise, I went up 2. But I had no run. No run is 0. Nothing in math is 0. So up 2 over 0, you can't divide by 0, or it's undefined, so this is undefined. Any questions there, make sure you let me know. That's finding slope. Now to write the equation, let's do letter B. You gotta know what you're working with. So letter B, I can do slope-intercept form because I know the y-intercept is right there when the line touches the y-axis, and that's at +2. So my b is 2. So my b equals 2, my slope is 3/4, so my equation would be y equals 3/4 x plus 2. And if I wanted to, I could even write one in point slope form. 13, find the slope given 2 points. This is slope formula. In slope formula, it looks like this: y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. It's very important that you label your points correctly and that you do not mix up your signs. So I'll do letter C, and I label x1, y1, because in ordered pair, it has an x and a y. x2, y2. And then I'm just going to substitute. We've been substituting all year. So y2 is -5. Put it in parentheses. Minus, and this is where most people mess up. They don't minus a -5. Parentheses -5. You'll notice you're subtracting a negative. Later on, we'll add the opposite. x2, 6 minus 3. So if you're subtracting a negative, you can add the opposite, and I get -5 plus a +5 is 0/3. So the slope of this would just be 0. 0 divided by a number is 0. 14, I already talked about this a little bit, but I'll go ahead and do it. So the slope is m, the b is -2, so it's going to be y equals 2x minus 2. To find an equation of the line graph, well, you got to find slope, but then you got to find the y-intercept. And y-intercept is when x equals 0. It's where the line touches, the graph of the line touches the y-axis. Number 16, using a table. Well, you got to find your rate of change, and you got to find your y-intercept. You need your m, you need your b. There's my b. When x is 0, the y value that corresponds to my y-intercept, so b is 2. Now to find the m, I got to find the constant rate of change, or the common difference. Well, my x values are going up by 1. So I know my run is 1. My y seems to be changing by -5. So my slope is -5/1, or just -5. So my equation's got to be y equals my slope, -5, or -5/1, x plus 2. So I use the table to get my equation. Let's see what we got next. Graph the line. Well, m is 2, b is -1. So I find -1 on the y-axis. Looks like it's right here. Graph didn't print very well. Slope tells me to go up 2 and over 1. So up 1, up 2, over 1, and then plot a point. Some of you double plot points there. Slope just tells you how to get to the next point. It doesn't give you 2 points. And then I should have a ruler here, but I don't. So I'm going to just go ahead and use my pen here. I can draw the line through the 2 points. Arrows on both, because lines don't stop. They keep on going. And I have a positive slope on this line. 18, we have a word problem. Elenia opened a savings account, had a deposit, $100. That seems like that would matter. Each month she deposited $75 as she saved up to buy her first car. Okay. Well, to write an equation, I got to know my slope, and I got to know my y-intercept. What am I starting with, and how am I changing? So to me, the b is the easy one to find in this case, because whenever you do something when you opened it or when you started, that's the intercept. So b is going to be $100. You put $100 in your bank account, and then something that happens repeatedly is your rate of change, which is your slope. So each month, $75 would be my slope. So then my equation is y equals 75x plus 100. Now, what does x represent? You got to make sure you know that. X is going to be the number of months. Now, if you know the number of months, you can figure out how much money's in the bank. Independent variable and dependent, that's a typo. Independent would be months. And dependent, well, money depends on months, so money in the account. Oh, I got a bunch of typos. It says Michaela. It should have been Elenia. To figure out how much you need to save for $2,600, I'd set $2,600 equal to my y, because y represents the amount of money. And then I have to solve the equation for x. And x will equal some number of months. That's how you do that. Point slope. Point slope is cool when you don't have y-intercept, so you got to find the x1, y1, and the slope. So we have here a y plus 5 and an x plus 1. Well, I know point slope is y minus y1 So that means that y1 is really -5. And I know it's x minus x1, so I know that x1 is really -1. So my order pair doesn't fit on that line. It's -1, -5. Slope is m. M's right there. So m is 2. And then I could graph it by just plotting that point at -1, -5. And then doing what slope says, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and getting my line graphed. So point slope, find the point, find the slope. Moving on. Same deal here. With the point slope, you would just pick any ordered pair as your x1, y1, and then the slope. To write the equation of a line graphed in 22, pick a point. That's going to find the slope. That's going to be your point slope. 23 is nice. It's practicing solving equations. I'll go ahead and do letter A. We're going to distribute that 4 to get y by itself, because that's what slope-intercept form is, y by itself. We're going to get 4x plus 24. We're going to subtract 5 on both sides. We're going to get y equals 4x plus 19. That's my slope-intercept form equation. So my m is 4 over 1. My b is 19. I can go ahead and graph that line if I want to. So if I ever want you to convert or you need slope-intercept form, just go ahead and solve for y. What else can we do? All right, well, next up is systems. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to post this, and then we'll get systems the next. So if you guys got questions on this video, let me know.